Something like that. Hey, so this is the Just Joshing with Dakota set. If you watch us over on that channel, link in the description, then you're familiar with it. And you know it's been evolving as we've been going along. For the most part, we've been focusing on sound and video quality, trying to get that good so people actually enjoy watching it. And in doing so, we've held back on finishing the set design. Since this is going to be mostly a temporary set and in the future will become an office space, we're not really making everything super perfect how we want it to be, but we still want it to be a nice space to work in. Like if we have a guest on our podcast / talk show or whatever you would call it, we want them to come into this space and be like, wow, this is actually really cool. So we have like the walls somewhat decorated. In the future, we actually want to have a lot more posters on here. Channels affiliated with ours or sponsors, stuff like that. We would like this whole wall filled up with them. Oh yeah, by the way, guess whose birthday it is today? Roger's, my Gramps. Where was I? Freaking ADD. Okay, so basically this set is temporary. So we're doing everything at temporary measures, but we still want it to have a cool feeling when people come down here, when we come down here, when we use this space. Since the coronavirus outbreak thing has happened, we haven't done a show. And Dakota hasn't been here because we are both self-isolating in our own places. And since there's downtime, I think as long as nothing costs anything, I will be able to finish up the set. Now, the reason why I haven't taken advantage of this to do any big renovations on my house is because I still have a mortgage to pay, and that's more important than furthering the progress of my house, even though it kind of sucks that I'm not able to do that. So it likely won't show up too much when you actually watch a Just Joshing with Dakota episode, but I want to put shelves in here that follow this faux broken plaster. So say a shelf starts here and goes to there, maybe another one starts here and goes to there. And once they're up there, we can put stuff like this gnome that Dakota has on there. We can put these little Mario and Luigi go-karts on there. Just stuff that we've collected that we think is cool, that kind of show what our personalities are. Sort of like how we have Vincent here in the corner, and we have this lamp, we have that skull down there. We have a diverse collection of stuff that kind of show who we are. And we would like to have it in the space to make it more enjoyable to work in and more enjoyable for visiting, if that makes sense. Eventually, this will all be moved into my shop where I will build a room to actually have our show in. But for now, it's here where we can have it, where it's ready to have use put to it. Now, speaking of my shop, I'm going to see if I can find some material in here, because I have a lot. Now, it's still a big mess in here, and I don't plan for it to be like this for much longer. It should start warming up to nice summer temperatures soon, and then I can clean it out and then start progressing on turning this into my shop. Now, through this window here is actually going to be where the Just Joshing with Dakota studio is. I'm going to build a proper, not a proper studio in the sense that it's going to be like top quality, but I'm going to build a room in there dedicated to Just Joshing with Dakota. Now, to find something that I can use to make some shelves with. If I had my shop up and running and it was warm in here, I could probably make some cool stuff with this stuff, but that's not going to work for the shelves. That would make a kind of a cool shelf. Just have that bolted to the wall, but it wouldn't hold up much because there's not much surface area, but that would look kind of neat if that could also have a wood shelf on it. But this is brass, so I can't exactly weld anything on it to make a bracket, but that would be kind of cool. Maybe I'll be able to figure something out with those anyways. Okay, I don't know what these things are, but I'm going to use them as brackets. I don't know what they're actually for. Maybe for curtain something or other, but I have a bunch of them, so I'm going to use these as brackets because they won't show too much. I have this wood here, which I could use. Why not? I think I bought this to use on the coop. I'm not sure though. That'll work. Nice and light. Okay, I'm going to take this and throw it up there. Ah, bad snap day. There. There we go. Didn't make too much of a mess. It's a very simple build, as you can see just by looking at it. All I had to do was take a couple measurements based on how the plaster goes up on the brick wall. Took 2 measurements and then basically cut those 2 different measurements so that they were the same on the right side, but they traveled further on the left side. From there, I basically just sanded off all the rough edges and burrs. The brackets themselves were a little weird, so I had to bend those because they're not actually for hanging shelves. I'm not actually sure what they're for. From there, I just screwed those to the wall, and I tried to find a stud for each shelf so that they would be more structural. And then I just screwed the brackets to the planks of wood so that they wouldn't be wobbly. And then you get what you see here, and they look good except for they're a little freaking flimsy. Those brackets are a little awkward. So putting something on the shelf causes it to sag a little bit, and we can't really have that. These are our brackets that we're using. I think they're for like something to do with like a curtain rod or something like that. I'm not sure though. How we have them is like this, and I think that's what's weakening it. It has this divot rolled into it that's giving it some structural integrity, and I think that only works if it's hung like this. So I'm going to flip these back over to this orientation and see if that is stronger for the shelves. If that doesn't work, we're going to have to figure out something else. Use some other material. I have lots, so hopefully I'll be able to find something. Okay, moment of truth. Just as flimsy as it was before. Okay, so here's my square, my quick square. Do you see? It should be like that. Time to go find a solution in the shop. Okay, I haven't found what I'm looking for yet, but I did find this old copper wire heart. This is actually made from scraps from one of the renovations I did for a client. I didn't do the electrical, one of my friends did, but who's a electrician. But I made this out of the scrap when I was waiting for mud to dry. I believe I was taping, and then I just filled with some of the scraps that were left there from when the electric was being done. I know I have these L brackets in the barn that I keep all of my reclaimed and upcycled bits and pieces in, and I know exactly where they are, but they're over there. So I'm trying to find an alternative or look in some of the boxes that I haven't yet searched through, but I've been given or acquired in one way or another. Like this one right here. Okay. Power wrench. Okay. Nice. Some hoist. Another torch. Spotlights. Yeah, I don't think I'm looking in the right area. Damn it. Maybe I could visit the chain idea and just make these hold it up, perhaps. lots of good pieces for other stuff, but not what I need. I have like a whole box of these. I remember getting these from my friend Patrick. Office building that he was clearing out. Brace yourselves, we're gonna keep looking. This is called a brace, right? I think. Okay, I think I'm gonna have to... Damn it, I thought this might be a bracket. It is not. Well, just as I give up, I find a whole bunch more of those useless things. I'm not sure what they're for. I'm not sure why or where I got them from, but I have a bunch of them. What are you barking at, Hank? It's just me. Hey, buddy, don't lick my face. There he is. Good old Hank. It's supper time, so maybe he was just calling me in for supper. Alright, so I haven't found any brackets. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'll have to think of something else for those shelves. For now, that's what they're just going to be for looks. But, I don't know, we'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. Some pierogies, carrots, and chicken. Thank you, babe. Damn, supper was good. Hey, check this out. Rug is still looking good. Had some sort of ranch chicken, something or other. It's pretty good. Alright, so since I couldn't find anything to finish the shelving up, I'm just going to clean up and try to think of something else that I can do to make it work. There's got to be something somewhere. Okay, I figured why not, just because it's not working now, just do this. So at first I was thinking maybe I would do a gusset type system, which would look kind of like that. But it takes up a lot of, it makes a lot of noise. It doesn't really look nice. So then I was like, I have extra, whatever these things are called. I'll just throw them on the top and see if it holds it. And it does. There's lots of strength there. The only problem is it looks hideous. Now the only studs that I can screw into are right here, so I have no option but to put it there. If I put it not in a stud, it likely won't hold, and if it does, it won't be for very long depending on the weight that I put on it. Now in the shop, I plan to frame the walls so that I can put floating shelves like this and not have any hardware showing if I don't want that. Another option I have here is if I did like, you may see people do pipe holding it up. I was thinking about that, but all my pipe is at the barn, which is at my other shop, which is where I have the L brackets, which I would like to use here. Can you guys hear Hank? So when I do the shop build, I'm going to build it intentional so that I can do display options like that. But for now, this will work. Though it looks a little embarrassing, I can just put stuff in front of it. And then when I do get the brackets that will work better, I will just swap them out. But for now, I want to see what the display looks like. So I'm going to go over to the... Check it out. It's still... Well, it's barely light out, but it's still light out, and it's like almost 9 o'clock p.m. Okay. My other shop had toys all over the place. I packed them up and put them in here in my temporary studio, which is a pigsty. That being revamped is making me inspired to perhaps work on this space, since I will probably be working in it longer than expected, because the world is at a standstill, which makes me make less money, which makes me not able to work on the shop, unfortunately, which will also be my painting studio as well. So depending on how the summer goes, I may have to just stay in this space, and I don't want to work in here like this. This looks bad. I let it go because I didn't think I'd be working in here, and I was just going to pull everything out, and then I was going to start renovating the basement. Probably not going to happen. Anyways, let's find some toys. Ooh, I got this Garfield, this Santa Garfield right here. Perfect. I've been collecting these since I was a little kid. My first one, I still have my first one from when I was about 2 years old. Okay. Check out the wear and tear he's had. I've had to like Sharpie in his eyeballs, but his hat's missing. His beard is all stretched and worn down. This one is brand new looking. Tag is still in great condition. I found this at a thrift store, I believe, and I think it was just taken out of the bag by the thrift store to put on display. These are actually a McDonald's toy from way back in the 90s, but look at the difference. This used to be my bedtime stuffed animal from when I was like 2 years old all the way until I stopped sleeping with a stuffed animal. Dakota has one too. So mine was called Garfield, his was called Garnet Field, so we wouldn't get him mixed up. There he is on the temporary display. So like I said, when I get the actual L brackets, I will redo this. And I think what I'll do is I will probably torch these and then probably even stain them and then definitely put a poly or something on them to protect them and make them cleanable if, like dust and all that kind of stuff. So this is just temporary, but it kind of gives you an idea of how I want to have the display. I may even think about putting a shelving over on the other side as well, because there are other toys. But let's just kind of show you what we have so far. So obviously we got Garfield there. We have the cow tractor from Cars. Charlie Brown, who this is actually from McDonald's as well. I actually have a bunch more of them. This Kurt Cobain was from Alex. That's a Christmas gift. These two little minions. They're like mini Lego. They came with some other stuff that I got a long time ago. Some of you may remember this guy that I got from Red Deer when I was looking in that temporary pop-up art space we were hoping to rent. Pinocchio and Sully, these are two McDonald's toys as well. Emily Elizabeth from Clifford. This is a broken pop figure from Rick and Morty. I have some other Rick and Morty pop figures as well, but they're not here. Woodstock, of course, that's another McDonald's toy. Came out at the same time as Charlie Brown. The Gnome of Jakota's. Rhett and Link, those were a gift from Ashley. Right up here we have, you guys like Monty Python? Check it out. He even has his flesh wound. No leg. His leg is actually just folded up. I just thought it would be funny. You can actually see his foot right there. Tooth I made, pop figure. I got this as a gift from my brother Ken for Christmas one year. But that's Bob Ross. And we got Iron Man here. This was off of a movie theater cup. And then, of course, a Minion. I got that from, I guess, a movie and CD, whatever, music store that closed down. This was a gift from Dakota. It's a radio in the shape of a computer. Yogi Bear. If you guys like Adventure Time. I don't really like it, but I thought the figure was kind of cool. A Big Boy, I got that from Alex as well. Here's my toe. Got Jughead. This was another Bob Ross pop figure I actually got from one of you guys, so thank you for that. Oh, I thought this was so cool. So this is actually wood. I thought that was so cool, but you can see here, Sir Topham Hatt's car. Thought that was kind of cool. Gingy, that was a McDonald's toy. Came with the Pinocchio. These little guys I used to work at this pizza place, and we had like these those coin machines where you put the coin in and you turn the thing, and you got those. Beavis, got that from Alex as well for Christmas with Kurt Cobain there. If anyone has a butthead or knows where to get one, I need a butthead. These two guys right here if you watched my last vlog, you saw the foosball table that Jakota and I scored from the dump that we played on while we were working on my house. We destroyed it because the table sucked, and these are the two opposing team players that I kept, Mario and Luigi. These came on birthday cake that Ashley got for me. Another pop figure, Hey Arnold, and then anatomical heart. Not life size. I thought it was. I ordered it because it said it was life size. Yeah. Oh, I guess I forgot. Code 2319 and another Iron Man. And then this guy, which I forget what it's from. I don't remember. Does anyone know what movie he or she is from? I don't even remember. I don't remember where I got that. That may have been a McDonald's toy as well. Yeah, I think that's basically it. Oh, Yogi Bear is missing his hand. I'm not sure where it went. This may have been a McDonald's toy as well. Probably was. He's actually a Wendy's toy. There we go. So yeah, that's part of the collection. If I put another shelf over on the other side, I will put more of our little dudes that we have, but we don't want it to look cluttered, so I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do. We want it to look curated. We want when people to come here who may be guests on the show or just come to my house, we want people to be like, dude, you got the code 2319 guy, and you have Jughead and a big boy and whatever. We just want people to be like, oh, that's so cool that you have all these little figures. Not, why do you have such a mess? Everyone's taste is different, so it's not necessarily going to be cool to everyone, but we want it to be cool to us without it being too much, if that makes sense. I don't know. Anyways, tomorrow I think I will continue on with cleaning up the basement and the studio, I think. Missed it. Making an omelet. A little bit of pepper so you can sneeze. I missed it again. So Ashley's omelet is in there. I'm gonna make some scrambled eggs. We've got 2 nugget eggs. What's the white one?
Henrietta.
And what's the big brown one?
Lucy.
Excellent. Bam! Breakfast is served. So this egg is a little bit cracked, so we're not gonna eat it. So it's gonna go for Hank. He really loves eggs, which is awesome. Okay. When anyone was a kid, did they pretend pepperoni sticks were like cigars? I still do. Real cigars are gross, but pepperoni tastes really good. Sort of Clint Eastwoody. I even have the facial hair. Speaking of facial hair, the amount of messages that I get saying that I should shave it off because it looks hideous or that it's very unattractive is staggering. Just for that, I think I will keep it on. No, I'm kidding. I actually don't like it either. I should actually at least clean it up a bit. The reason why I haven't shaved in so long is because I'm just a little lazy. I went to LA, forgot my razor, and then that kind of just led into just not shaving even when I got home. I didn't feel like going out to get another razor, and then after that, I was too lazy, and that happens. But do you guys remember the last time I grew it out? I played in my Christmas video, I don't know if that's the right word, but I made up a character, the woodsman. If you watch that video, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you haven't seen that video, you should go watch it, even though it's not Christmas. Anyways, do you remember the gold bars that I had? I was thinking, since I have this nasty facial hair, on my way home, I was driving through the desert and I was like, man, I wish I had a shovel, because I would have made up a new character and called it... I think that would have been super cool, but... Okay. That's better. Now, what do you guys think of this? I was going to put like everyone's messages who was like saying that I look ugly in this vlog, but that's kind of mean. Not as mean as insulting someone based on their looks, but still mean. So now I'm just gonna keep the mustache because because I look like somebody's dad. Oh man, that is awful. Okay, Hank, you want to go for a walk, bud? Come here. I'll look like his owner now. Look, we got the same color hair. What do you think of my mustache, babe?
I don't even know what to say.
Hey, Ashley.
Yes.
I must ask you a question.
Oh my goodness.
So, you know how downstairs we have that secret room? Mm-hmm. Do you think it's a good place to stash stuff?
No.
No, but for real. So in the basement, we're thinking about maybe if we can swing it, starting to do some stuff downstairs while we have some downtime. Can't do anything else. Who knows? We'll see. The secret room is gonna be gone so that we can actually use the whole space. It would be cool to still have a secret room somewhere, and if we can do that, then maybe we will, but it's likely gonna go. We'll find other places to stash stuff. And the only reason why we're going to be able to do stuff in the basement is because it's going to cost very little or nothing at all, because it's so far going to be demo and moving some stuff around and using materials that we already have. We can't really go anywhere. I mean, some stores are still open, but almost everything's closed, and we need to save our money to be able to pay our mortgage through this whole coronavirus shutdown. So I don't know. We gotta stay motivated to finish it, but we gotta be responsible.
To be smart.
Right, we have to be smart. Like, it was very smart to shave off the beard and keep the mustache. Come on, buddy. Okay, I just realized that we were just talking about the secret room, and not everyone knows what we were talking about. Just looks like a regular cupboard, but when you open it up, it goes into here. Now, nothing really is being stashed in here, and it's not so secret because there is this giant hole in this wall. We took this wall out so that we could simplify the plumbing here, because it used to be like a whole bunch of mess. And when we took that out, it obviously exposed this, although we did know it was here when we moved here. And it's kind of obvious that it's here because there's the drywall had been redone at some point and they didn't tape it closed, so that's just super obvious. But kind of cool, kind of mysterious. This room and this room are going to become one at some point, or that's the plan. Plans change all the time. Ideas change as new things come up. Such as yesterday, I was just meaning to clean up down here because it is a bit of a mess. And then I started, I made that. And it didn't come out exactly how I had envisioned it, but it's functional and it works. Kind of goes that way when I go to clean up something. I'll find something and I'll start working on a project, and then I'll make something. Happens all the time. Making that right there behind Vincent, that little whatever you'd call that. It's kind of like just his background, a backdrop, just so that it just gives some texture to the space. I did that because I was moving some raw materials, and I was like, you know what, let's make something. So rather than cleaning up, I made something. But I think it turned out pretty cool. Today, I think we are going to try our best to focus on cleaning up the rest of the basement, because I have stuff all over the place. This table here, that junk there, this stuff here, this area here, this material here, this guy here, and then of course this whole room here. Okay, so this is a perfect example of getting distracted. I have all these cardboard boxes, right? And I'm trying to organize them so that I can get to them still easily, but they're not necessarily hidden, because I have a whole bunch of different sizes and I don't want to put small ones and big ones and forget about them. But anyways, I have a lot of stuff in here. Random stuff, right? Like I have this little piggy bank, I have Marvin the Martian, Bart Simpson, Jeff Gordon car, a Mr. Potato Head, all sorts of things in here. But I find this bison jawbone, and now I have an idea. Check this out. Thank you, Lindsay, for the new banner for my channel. That is so freaking awesome. I really appreciate that. It looks so good.